That's interesting, man. That's freaking interesting.
That's freaking interesting, man. That's freaking interesting.
What's up? Welcome to That's Fucking Interesting. That's fucking interesting. You monkey brain chimpanzee looking some of my bitch. Today, we're gonna talk about two things. Good form versus bad form. Differentiating the two. What is what? And we're gonna talk about rep range. So, the proper ranges to spark a result, the result that you want. So, what's the proper rep range? How should it look? Going to failure, what does that look like? All that together. So, we're going to talk about good form or form, biomechanics, and rep range. Let's go. Okay, so let's go over a little bit about good form. What is good form? There's debates. Maybe there is no good form. Maybe it doesn't matter. Just getting the weight up. Depends what your goals are. Depends on your body. You know. I'm going to talk about as far as isolating a muscle. Okay. So let's say you're doing a deadlift. That's a compound movement. You're using a lot of muscles at the same time. You're just trying to get it up for, say, power or max strength. The form is going to vary from person to person somewhat. What's good for you, how your body recruits muscles. But let's talk about, let's say, a bicep curl. All right, let's go through the mechanics of a bicep curl and what's good and what isn't.
That's fucking interesting, man.
Okay, so a bicep curl, we're just trying to work the bicep. You're trying to make a bigger, more developed bicep. I'm not trying to work my front delt. I'm not trying to work my tricep. I'm not trying to use my oblique. I'm not trying to use my traps. I'm just trying to work on my bicep, okay? So you can get a heavier weight and just swing it up any old kind of way, or you can use your legs and swing it up. And you're gonna put some pressure or put some stress on the bicep, but you're also gonna be using other muscles. We're not isolating it, okay? So what you wanna do is keep your shoulder and elbow in alignment. You don't want it too far back. You don't want it too far forward. About right here, right? And we're just gonna use the elbow joint. It's the only thing moving. You shouldn't be moving like this. You'll probably get some of the bicep, but you're also gonna get some of the front delt. And we don't wanna use the front delt. So let's say I have a 50-pound dumbbell, right? And I bring it up, but I get it up, right? So I'm thinking I'm getting it up so I can do curls with 50 pounds. But let's isolate it, right? It's a little harder if I just isolate the bicep, right? So what is better? Which one is better? Are you gonna get more weight on the bicep if you go heavier, but you're also using the front delt? Or are you going to get more hypertrophy out of it if you use a lighter weight that you can control for 8 to 12 reps? We'll get into rep range later. But what's better? If you're isolating if your goal is to isolate the muscle, if you're trying to have a certain aesthetic, I'm going to say go strict, isolate the bicep. Can you still get bigger biceps by not isolating? Yeah, you can. I see people do it all the time. So it might be the way that you recruit your curl. Some people are recruiting everything in their bicep and they might just use a little momentum for a couple. That's fine. But we have to think about also safety. You can fuck yourself up by having fucked up form or swinging your body all around. You know, it's debatable. It's debatable on some of the movements. It's debatable. I personally am going to go for the stricter form and isolate the muscle. I encourage you to do so as well. So we can argue on what is the proper way to do, say, a tricep extension. Everybody's probably going to tell you a different thing. I'm going to tell you what I think it is. So what I'm going to do is just like the bicep curl, I'm going to isolate my shoulder to my elbow. That's not going to move, except when I bring the weight down. you'll see the elbow go forward, but I'm still in a straight line, and then as I come up, I'll bring it back slightly. And that keeps the weight on my tricep, for me. Now you're gonna have to feel around for you. My arms are different lengths, right? Like my joints and levers are different lengths, so it might vary from person to person. But still, you're gonna isolate that tricep, as opposed to you bring it down and let it come up and you get some momentum when it comes up and you swing it down, come up, swing it down. Now, can you still get big triceps? I'm sure you can. If you know what you're doing it for a while. Can you have, let's say, maybe a 1/4 inch more growth or maybe a little more development if you isolate it? Why don't you try it? Why don't you try both? See what it is. If you can do, say, a full rack of tricep extension and you're using momentum, do the full rack and isolate. See if you can do the same number isolating. Don't you think that, let's say the first week of August, you don't use momentum, you usually can do the whole stack, right? But you only get, say, 8 with strict form. At the end of the month, maybe you can do 12. Maybe you can even add some type of plates on it or something to do more with strict form. Don't you think you're going to get some more growth? Don't you? Experiment. Find out for yourself. Don't just listen to me. Apply what you're learning. Apply. Experiment. Feel it out. So here's the tricep extension the way I suggest. I kind of get some leverage over it. If I stand straight, my core has to work a little harder just to keep the weight here, right? So it's like pulling me out. I'm taking some of my strength away from my triceps if I'm trying to work my core at the same time. So I'm gonna lean over it a little. I have some leverage, and I'm just using my body weight to keep the weight down. Now I'm gonna put all my strength into the contraction, right? So it comes back when the weight goes up. On the easy part, my elbows are slightly behind me. And then as I push, I'm in a straight line. As opposed to when the weight comes up, I'm getting pulled forward. I don't have any contraction, any weight on my tricep. I can rest here. I can't rest here. I have to hold it here. My tricep has to work, right? Especially when you have a significant amount of weight on there. So I'll extend down, bring it up, extend down. I'm pushing to the ground. It's not swinging towards my thighs. I'm extending straight down to the ground. It's not touching me. See, it's about maybe 2-3 inches from my body. Now bring it up. Try it. Try it. See if you like it. All right, so now let's go a little bit into rep range. So your rep range is how many reps. This is a rep. That's 1 rep of curls, right? So many reps, let's say 12 reps, make a set. So I might have 3 sets of 12 reps, okay? So each rep range has it produces a certain result. So there's three results: maximum strength, hypertrophy, which is bodybuilding, and then strength and endurance, right? Which is probably be better for like an athlete. Like if you're a runner or a boxer or a basketball player, you probably want to be in that strength endurance range. If you're a bodybuilder, you want to look a certain way, you want your physique to look a certain way, you're going to be in that hypertrophy range. And then if you're a power lifter or you want to see how strong you are, or take your body, let's say you're a bodybuilder, but you want to get stronger on your rep range, you'll do maybe some max strength lifts, periodically to break out of plateaus, make you stronger, and then go back to your hypertrophy with a higher amount of weight. So in the max strength, the rep range for maximum strength will be 1 to 6 reps. Okay, so anywhere in that 1 to 6 reps is going to produce a stronger muscle, right? It's not going to necessarily make the muscle bigger like hypertrophy, and it's definitely not going to be good for endurance like strength and endurance lifts, which are high rep lifts, like 20 reps, 30 reps. So you put as much weight as you can, and you're gonna hit 1 to 6 reps, right? That's gonna, anything in that range is gonna produce the same result, more strength. Anything in the 8 to 12 rep range is gonna produce hypertrophy. It's not necessarily strength. You'll get stronger, but it's not maximum strength like a power lifter, right? Like the guys who, like a strong man or something like that, they lift one weight, like 900 pounds on the deadlift one time. That's max strength. They're not gonna have the same appearance, aesthetics as a bodybuilder. A CrossFitter is not gonna have the same aesthetics as a bodybuilder, right? A bodybuilder is gonna have, I consider, a more beautiful physique because you're taking each muscle and developing each muscle individually. A CrossFitter is trying to perform a task. An athlete, like a football player, you're asking them to perform a task. A power lifter is trying to perform a task, right? So the body is going to change to perform that task better. You see what I'm saying? So hypertrophy range, bodybuilding range is 8 to 12. You take a weight, right? You're gonna do, say, 1, 2, all the way up to 8. You're struggling at 8, but you're struggling still with proper form. You get to 12 and you can't even do it. Let's say you get to 10, right? And you can't do it. So to get the last 2 reps, if your rep range is 12, you start throwing it up, throwing your elbows, you're rocking, you see, using momentum. You're not hitting 12 reps. You hit 12 reps, you hit 10 reps with good form. And then the last 2 were shit form. So lighten the weight, and at 12, you should fail at 12 with good form. That is the amount of weight that you can do to fail between 8 and 12. I usually would try to go 8 reps with the heaviest weight that I could do. But you can do 12, either one, with good form. It's failing with good form. It's not just hitting 12. Like, you can just take the weight. You could probably go on forever if you just swing it up, if you just bend your back, if you throw your elbows forward, and you can probably get 16, 20 reps. But with good form, failing between 8 and 12 with good form. Now for strength and endurance, someone like, maybe a female, but I mean, even females can do 8 to 12 reps, depending on the diet. But let's say an athlete, like a boxer or a runner, football player, basketball player, volleyball player, I would suggest staying in the 20 rep range, 16 to 20, failing at 20. So the weight needs to be where you're failing at the high end of the rep range. So if it's 16 to 20 reps, you should not be able to do more than 20 reps. If you can, the weight is too light. You should be failing. You cannot do more than 20. You cannot do more than 12. If you get to 12 and you can do more, then you need to add weight, or you're not failing in that rep range. You take a certain weight. I never will tell somebody what weight to do, and they have suggested ways that you can calculate, finding your 1 rep max to do, say, 12 reps. So there's a formula you can use, and it'll say, okay, 90 pounds is your 1 rep max for curls or whatever, and then you do that. But each week, each workout, you're going to get stronger. You see what I'm saying? And I suggest feeling it out on the first set. Feel it out on the first set, and then increase if you need to, decrease if you need to. Each workout, the first set, I consider it like a warm-up set. I'm gonna estimate what I can do that day. I'll add weight to it if I feel like I can do it, okay? Or if I can't do it with good form, I'll lighten it up a bit, okay? So there's 3 rep ranges: max strength, hypertrophy, and strength and endurance. Strength and endurance for athletes, people that need to be moving around, performance, bodybuilders, 8 to 12, power lifters, or if you're trying to get stronger, even for a bodybuilder, you're in that 1 to 6 rep range. That's fucking interesting, man. That's fucking interesting. Now, these are debatable, and everybody's different. Okay, so as far as good form, some people will say it doesn't fucking matter, and they look good, they're big, and it didn't really matter for them. I mean, you can't really argue with results, right? Is there a safer way to do it? Is there a way that you can isolate that muscle more? I subscribe to that, right? If I want to feel that muscle, you want to feel that muscle work, right? But is it the only way? Is like concrete? Like this is the only way? No, it's my suggestion to you, and you can experiment with your body and find out what works for you. Document it. Document. Are you growing? Are you getting stronger? Are you getting the result you want from the way that you are currently doing it? Can you try different ways and see if you can improve in different ways? For instance, I had some friends that they felt like they could never grow their chest, right? And they were just doing it a way that they've always done it. They're like, I just can't grow my chest. I'm just someone who can't grow a chest. I disagree. Took them through some workouts, and instead of doing heavy weight, what I did was volume. So we did a lot of different exercises with good form or short rest in between. Within a month, they saw growth in their chest. It's experimenting with your body in different styles. Now, the rep ranges as far as max strength, hypertrophy, and strength and endurance, that's research. You know what I'm saying? So within that rep range, you produce a certain result. Now, if you're taking anabolic steroids, it doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're doing strength, max, whatever. Your body is going to grow. Your muscles are going to grow hypertrophically. I don't know. You know what I meant. But the muscle is going to get bigger either way. Your body's going to be growing no matter what. If you're doing 20, you're doing whatever, right? So I'm talking about if you're natural, the rep ranges for getting stronger is 1 to 6. For hypertrophy or making the muscle appear bigger, but not necessarily its strongest, that's going to be 8 to 12. And then strength and endurance for like someone like a basketball player who doesn't need all that mass on them, that's going to be 16 to 20. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions or you need some guidance, message me. And thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share. And that's fucking interesting, man. That's fucking interesting.